Hi guys, how y'all doing? I hope you had a lovely Friday and that you guys are getting ready to enjoy your weekend as well. Not that we can really go out and do much, but we can at least try and relax a little bit and not have too many things asking for our time, like work. So, yes, I hope you guys are all still doing well. Tonight's session, I'm going to focus a little bit more on opening up the lower back, the glutes, and then also just working them a little bit as well. So anybody that ends up struggling with that little bit of pain in their hip that shoots down the leg, that's usually the sciatic nerve that's got some pressure going on, and that's usually due to tightness. So there will be a decent amount of stretching in tonight's session as well. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so let's start off in a seated position. Okay, so I'm just going sideways so that you can see what I'm doing. I want us to look at keeping that pelvis nice and steady. We're going to roll down and forward. We're actually going to put the feet together and take them further out so that we're in our butterfly position. If you feel yourself gripping in those hips, rather just push the feet further away from you to make space for those hips. But if you're still gripping quite tight, grab a pillow or something just to raise you up a little bit so you can open up the hip a little bit more so that it doesn't grip. We're going to have our hands on our shins. We're going to roll down and forward with the upper body, but I want us to keep the pelvic area steady and still. So as we're rolling down and forward, feel like you're trying to push your hips back and away, and that's going to open up that lower back quite nicely, okay? So hands on the shins under the knees. We're sitting nice and tall. We inhale. Exhale, nodding the chin to the chest. Leave a little gap between the chin and the chest if you can. Start rolling forward like you're diving forward. Sink that chest in as we dive forward. Let the hands run down the shins as we move further towards the feet. And this is the part where you want to feel like the hips are pushing back and away. That way we keep the pressure in the same place on those sit bones, and we open up that lower back even more. We hold for the inhale. Exhale, pull that navel in towards the spine to protect that spine as we gently restacking the spine one vertebra at a time, sitting nice and tall. All right, and you let the hands just drag up the shins as we lift the body. So let's go again. We inhale. Exhale, nodding chin to chest, rolling down and forward. Sink that chest in for me. Let the hands draw down your legs. You feel like you're pushing your sit bones back and behind you, so we keep the weight in those sit bones in the same place. Once we're as far as we can go, keeping that pelvis steady, we hold for the inhale. Exhale, pull that navel in to protect the spine. Let the hands drag up the legs as we restack our spines nice and tall. So we let the hands drag forward so that we can make space for those shoulders so they don't grip up into those ears. Right, let's do that 2 more times. We inhale. Exhale, nodding the chin. Leave a little gap between chin and chest if your body shape allows for it. Sink that chest in as you dive your head forward towards the feet. Feel like you're gently pushing those hip bones back and away. Let the hands drag down those shins. We hold for the inhale. Exhale, scoop that navel in to gently restack that spine. Let the hands drag up those shins and be nice and tall. Beautiful. All right, we're going to go for one more. We inhale. Exhale, nodding chin to chest, leaving a little gap there. Sink that chest inwards, let the hands drag down the shins so those shoulders can stay away from those ears. The pelvis is steady. We feel like we're pushing those hips back. Hold for the inhale. You go as low as you can with the pelvis staying steady. And exhale. Scoop that navel in and gently restack that spine. So the pelvic stability will determine your range of motion. All right, fantastic. So now we can sit cross-legged. I'm facing the screen just so you can get a better visual of what I'm doing. We're going to get a lovely side bend, but we're going to incorporate a little bit of a rotation in there as well, and that's going to stretch and open up that small part between your ribs and hips there, okay? So often if the abdominals are not strong enough, those two muscles on either side of the spine end up gripping and holding on, and they contribute towards that lower back pain, okay? So sitting nice and tall, hands out to the sides for me, fingertips on the mat. We inhale to lift the right arm up. Now we keep the shoulder down low and that arm straight. Those 2 points are going to determine how close your arm comes to your head. So challenge it, but stop just before you break those 2 points of technique. All right, we're still sitting beautifully straight. Now, we exhale to side bend to the left. We walk the left fingertips along the mat and away from us a little bit. So again, we can make space for that left shoulder to stay out of the ear. We reach long with that hand and we pull down through that right hip. So we're opening the side of the body in opposite directions. Now, we are going to inhale to rotate the upper body towards the floor, but we keep that right hip beautifully grounded for me. You should feel a stretch between the rib and hip area at that lower back. If not, then you're probably just not tight over there, and that's perfectly fine. We hold. Now we exhale to unrotate. Hold for the inhale. Now you can gently press into that left hand, but keep that shoulder out of your ear. But really focus on pulling your right rib cage down and in with that exhale to help restack your spine. And then we lower that right arm down. We're going to swap sides. We inhale to lift the left arm. Exhale, side bending, grounding down through that left hip. Right fingers walk away from you ever so slightly. Inhale to rotate your rib cage. We're trying to face the floor with our chest while keeping that left sit bone grounded. We then open the rotation as we exhale. Hold for the inhale. Exhale, pull the rib cage in to restack that spine. Lovely. We're going to go again each side. Inhale, lift your right arm, shoulder low, arm straight. Exhale, bend to the left. Walk the left fingertips away, grounding down through that right hip. Good. Inhale, rotate the upper body towards the floor. Exhale to unrotate. Hold for the inhale. Exhale to pull the ribs in on the right side to restack that body and then bring that arm down. And we're going to go again with the left side. We inhale to lift the arm, shoulder down, arm straight. Exhale, side bend, walking fingertips away from you, grounding down through the left hip. Inhale to rotate. Exhale to unrotate. Hold there for that inhale. Now exhale, pull the left rib cage down as we restack and lower that arm down to the floor. Fantastic. All right, so let's lay on our back. Let's do some pelvic curls to just warm up that spine a little bit. We will have a little bit of a focus on the core to just try and strengthen that up a little bit as well. Okay, so we are going to grab behind the thighs, roll down gently through your spine to lay yourself on the mat, on your back. So we've opened up the back a little bit, so let's see if we can incorporate some chest lifts after our pelvic curls. Okay, so you have your heels relatively close to the sit bones, feet are roughly fist distance apart, including those knees. We're in that neutral pelvis for me, ribs nice and laced, arms down by the sides of the body. We inhale to prepare. Exhale, scoop the navel and tuck the pelvis using just the abdominals, okay? So we want to lift that pelvic floor. We want to pull the navel in. Now ground down through the feet. Curl that spine as much as you can. So we're really tucking, so we can try and open up that lower spine again. And we're going to strengthen those glutes. Strong glutes support a good spine. And what I found out today, that a beautiful strengthened pelvic floor also supports the spine. All right, so we hold for the inhale there. Exhale, sink in the chest, Lower down through the spine, one vertebra at a time, gently coming back to your neutral pelvis. So guys, you're welcome to go through these exercises quicker than what I am. If you've been following my videos a lot and you understand how to do the exercises. All right, inhale to prepare. Exhale, scooping navel, tucking pelvis. So we lift the pelvic floor inside the pelvis, so we feel like we're drawing everything up. We pull the navel in. We then engage the feet. We tuck the pelvis even more to get those glutes firing. We peel the spine off of the mat. Draw the heels in towards those sit bones. Hold for the inhale. Exhale, lower down through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Keep that chest laced as we return to our neutral pelvis, where the hip bones and pubic bone are parallel to the floor. We're going to do 2 more like that. We inhale. Exhale, scoop the navel, tuck the pelvis, gently peeling the spine off of the mat. Good. Holding up at the top. The aim is to get a straight line between knees, hips, and shoulders. Hold for the inhale. Exhale, sinking in that chest as we gently roll down through the spine, one vertebra at a time, returning to a lovely neutral pelvis. Fantastic. All right, so I want us to now roll over onto our left-hand side, push ourselves up, and let's come into 4-point kneeling. I want us to just open up the spine with a little more rotation. Okay, so we're going to do our lovely thread the needle. So when we are feeling quite tight in the back, we want to try and get some rotation in there to sort of loosen everything up. You'll be surprised how, if you loosen up your spine, you'll even help loosen up that lower back. Okay, so we are going to have our hands slightly forward, so they're no longer under the shoulders, and have our knees underneath our hips. All right, then we push back and drop down halfway with our sit bones. Now, we take the back of the left hand, put it on the mat for me, underneath you, and we now thread that arm through as we lower our head and shoulder down to the mat for me. Push your hips gently to the left. Push into that right hand a little bit more for me. So we open up that chest a little bit, holding there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We now engage underneath that right arm so we can push into it safely to restack that body. Okay, so the left hand back on the floor. Now, right hand on, back of the right hand on the floor. Start threading that arm through as we lower the upper body down towards the floor. You can just rest your head and shoulder there. Push your pelvis slightly to the right so we can keep that spine straight. We push gently into the left hand to try and increase that rotation by opening the chest a little bit more, and we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we connect under that left armpit to protect the shoulder as we push into that left hand to unrotate. We're going to go 1 more each way. All right, so back of the left hand on the mat, gently lowering down as we rotate through. Hips pushing gently to the left to keep a straight spine. We push gently into the mat with the right hand to increase the rotation. We hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage under that right arm, put pressure in the right hand as we unrotate, bringing everything back. All right, we're going to go 1 more time. Back of the right hand on the mat. Thread the needle through for me as we lower the head and shoulder to the floor. Push your pelvis gently to the right. And now we push into that left hand a little bit more to open up the chest. Holding there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Push into that left hand as we engage underneath that left shoulder to restack. Now, keep your hands where they are. Just bring your hips back to on top of your knees for me. Okay, good. We're going to go into a pigeon pose stretch. Now, this is really going to open up that gluteal area. It's also going to open up a muscle called the piriformis. And usually when that's tight, it puts pressure on that nerve. And then that also gives you that shooting pain down the leg. Okay, so we're going to bring the left leg underneath and across. So that right leg underneath and across. So that right foot is touching the left side of your mat. Then we gently lower the pelvis to the floor and we straighten that left leg back and behind you. All right, so if you are particularly tight in the hips, your pelvis might not be touching the floor, perfectly okay. And you can keep your hands on the mat and lift that upper body. However, if you feel you can increase that stretch, lower the body towards the floor as much as you can, so elbows or upper body all the way down. And we're going to hold there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently walk the hands towards you as you lift the upper body up. And we're going to swap sides. So we're going to lift the pelvis up, take that knee back. We swap sides. Bring your left foot underneath and across. So the left foot is now on the right side of the mat. We lower the pelvis down to the floor, straightening that back leg for me. And then we lower the upper body towards the floor as much as we can today. And we hold that position for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Walk the hands towards you on the mat, lifting that upper body up. Good. And now we're going to take that leg back and behind. We're going to go into a different stretch. So now open up the hip flexors at the front. Okay. So we're going to bring that right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. If you creepy crawly your foot there, do what you need to get it there. Okay. And once you're in this position, you just lower the pelvis towards the floor. So if you're here, you just lower towards the floor as much as what's comfortable for you. The thing I want you to prioritize in this position is a straight spine. Okay. So if you need to get a little extra height, go up onto the fists or even onto the knuckles like a gorilla. I go onto my knuckles like a gorilla, and then I can really prioritize that straight spine as I gently push weight down in the pelvis. I just want you to feel a stretch. Don't overdo the stretch. Don't push as hard as you can. You should feel an opening in the front of that left hip there, and we hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. We push the weight back onto that left knee. We bring the right knee onto the mat and we swap sides. Bring that left foot forward. I even had to creepy crawly there a little bit myself. And then we lower the pelvis down towards the floor, straightening that spine for me. Now I spoke quite a bit on the previous one, so let's do 10 counts here. Remember that straight spine and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pushing the weight back onto the right knee, bring that right foot back, and now we're going to take a seat and we're going to work the abdominals in a seated position. So if you find that you struggle to do any sort of chest lift when you're laying down on the floor, rather start up in a seated position, get yourself a little bit more loose, practice strengthening abdominals in a position where you can really get them working nicely, and then progress yourself down onto the mat and work from there. All right, so let's have those knees bent and feet out in front. We're going to grab behind the thighs with a lovely straight spine. Okay, we inhale to prepare. We exhale to scoop the navel, tuck the pelvis, and roll down through the spine, just until you get to a point where the elbows are slightly bent. We don't want to straighten the elbows all the way. We don't want to have our joints locked. Okay, so in this position, this is where you want to really get those abdominals working nicely. So if you feel your hip flexors getting a little too involved, then I want you to just pull it gently with the arms to support that upper body. Concentrate on tucking that pelvis even more. You pull up the pelvic floor, you pull the navel in towards the spine. So that tucking for one will open up your lower back and get the abdominals in the front to work nicely. We hold for the inhale, then we exhale. We pull the navel in towards the spine to work that core even more as we restack the hips. We inhale to straighten the spine once we're in a seated position. Now remember, when we want that straight spine, that lower back needs to be in that straight spine as well, not just the upper back, okay? And we're going to go again. Exhale, scoop the navel, tuck the pelvis, Roll down through your spine for me. Really opening up that spine beautifully. Hold for the inhale. Exhale, pull the navel in and gently restack your spine, keeping the C curve. So the shoulders are now over the hips, but we still have a beautiful C in the back. And then we inhale to straighten. Now, if you want to challenge yourself and get even more of an abdominal workout, have the arms out in front, because now you don't have arm length limiting your range of motion. So we inhale, shoulders low. Exhale, scoop the navel, tuck the pelvis, roll it down. Now I want you to go down to a point where you can feel the abdominals are still doing most of the work. The moment you go down and you feel the hip flexors are doing most of the work, you've gone too far. Find that balance. All right, then we hold for the inhale. Exhale, pull navel in as we restack, keeping that C curve. Inhale to lengthen and straighten that spine. All right, so let's go again. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, scoop the navel, tuck the pelvis, open up that lower back. Rolling down until you find that point where the hip flexors are just about to take over, but they don't. All right, shoulders are still low, we're still tucking, navel in, pelvic floor up. We hold for the inhale. Exhale, pull the navel in as we gently restack, keeping the C curve. Inhale to lengthen and straighten. So now we want to still get those obliques. We want to get that rotational work going. So we're sitting tall. We cross one arm over the other. And then whichever way you went, I want you to swap around. So we go for the least comfortable pattern for the body. All right. We drop the arms just below shoulder height so we stay out of those shoulders. We inhale. We exhale to now roll back. Find a place where you can maintain the position comfortably while the abdominals are still working. All right. Now, keep the pelvis steady. Hands stay in front of the chest. Eye line forward and stays in line with the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Rotate your upper body with that rib cage to the left-hand side for me. Hands are still in front of the chest. Chin still in line with the middle of that chest. We inhale back to center. We exhale to rotate over to the right. So we're working that rib cage. We're turning and initiating with the rib cage to make sure the obliques are getting the work, not these shoulders and necks, okay? Inhale to center. Exhale, rotate over to the left-hand side. Good. Inhale to center. If you feel the hip flexors taking over, lift the body a little bit higher. We exhale to rotate. We want to work the muscles we're targeting. All right. Inhale to center. One more each way. Exhale over to the left. Pull that pelvic floor up ever so gently. Inhale to center. And exhale over to the right. Beautiful. Inhale to center. Lengthen the hands. Grab behind the thighs. Exhale, pull the navel in to restack that spine with a C curve. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. Feet together, knees out to the side, just to open up those hips a little bit there for me. All right. You can grab onto those ankles. Pull the pelvis forward so we straighten that back. But we're not arching the back. We're just getting into a beautiful straight spine. And then we're going to hinge forward with a straight spine to open up the inside of those hips a little bit more. We only go as far forward as we can with a straight spine. We're holding there. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we gently release that stretch. All right, so that is the session for tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. So I went through how to work your core if you battle with any sort of chest lift orientated exercises while laying on the mat. We did our little side bend with rotation to open up the lower back between the ribs and the hips there. We also opened up our glutes a little bit and the front of the legs. So those are 3 important places to try and open up nicely if you do get that tight pain in that hip joint. And then we did do a little bit of pelvic curl exercises to strengthen the glutes. Those definitely support the spine when they're strong. And of course, doing most of the abdominal work with Pilates, we want to lift that pelvic floor up only as much as we need to. and that will also support that beautiful spine there, okay? Something else I did learn today, which was fascinating for me, is that your diaphragm and pelvic floor are very much connected. So as you exhale and that diaphragm lifts up, the pelvic floor lifts up too. And then as you inhale and you expand your diaphragm down, the pelvic floor drops as well. So we want to make sure that that pelvic floor is strong and flexible. So do some lovely deep breathing as well. And then that should also help out on that side of things, all right? Because I found out that a tight pelvic floor can also contribute towards tight hips. It can. So let's just hit all the spots and try get a lovely balanced body at the end of the day. All right, guys, I hope you have a lovely evening. Cheers.